As a land-grant institution, the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign has a responsibility to acknowledge the historical context in which it exists. In order to remind ourselves and our community, we begin with this statement. We are currently on the lands of the Peoria, Kaskaskia, Piankashaw, Weah, Miami, Mascoutin, Odawa, Sauk, Meskwaki, Kickapoo, Potawatomi, Ojibwe, and Chickasaw nations. It is necessary for us to acknowledge these native nations and for us to work with them as we move forward as an institution. Over the next 150 years, we will be a vibrant community inclusive of all our differences, with Native peoples at the core of our efforts.
Good morning and welcome. Happy homecoming, everyone. I'm Gene Honda along with Jennifer Delavu and Chris Harris. Welcome to the campus. And, you know, several years ago, there was a theme for homecoming that was Illini firsts. And I think this categorizes one of the first, doesn't it? First virtual parade telecast.
That's right. And as far as we know, it's also the first Saturday morning parade. So
we had to check that one. Still not sure about that.
The jury's out, Gene.
But it's nice, and I've already heard from people saying that they like the idea of having the parade before the game.
Oh yeah, this will be great fun, right? You go right from here, right down around the corner, and walk right into the stadium, right? This is going to be a perfect day for it.
I think it'll be interesting too. I mean, once it's all said and done, we actually have greater attendance on a Saturday morning by virtue of the fact we're going by the tailgaters than we do on a Friday night.
Yeah.
People get used to it. We'll see how the schedule works out, but so far everything's worked out too perfectly. You got great weather for this.
Absolutely.
Now here we go. I think we're on. There's a parade.
We are. Here we go. Got the ROTC color guard coming up.
So what, Navy coming through first, right? This is Navy ROTC. We're seeing cadets coming through.
Just to give you an idea, we should tell people that we're near the start of what this parade route's going to be, right,
Right,
Jen?
we are. It actually stepped off right across from the Krannert Center for the Performing Arts, so we are right at the very beginning.
And they're going right past the Morrow Plots, for those of you watching at home. Everybody knows about the Morrow Plots, and if you don't, clearly you've never been to Illinois. We have a cornfield in the middle of our campus. How about you? That's a story that I never get tired of telling.
And we have our beautiful Grand Marshal coming up, Mary Henson, the widow of Coach Lou, along with Dion Thomas. Gene, he still holds the record for the all-time men's basketball scoring champion, does he not?
Yes, he was so looking forward to this role, though, to be in the parade and to be with Mrs. Henson. Hi, Dion. How are you?
Hey, and Mary Henson was not only Grand Marshal, wasn't she one of your Alumni Association Award winners this year?
Yes, she was named Honorary Alumna of the University of Illinois on Thursday night at our second annual Alumni Awards Gala. And she was inducted into that distinction by President Emeritus Stan Eikenberry, who was our first honorary alumnus.
All right. And right now we got the Illinois Fire Institute Services Institute fire truck. One of 2 orange and blue trucks we have. So there you go. You can get them ordered in orange and blue, but they don't come standard that way. So it turns out we got one in 2019. We got one in 2020, thanks to some state grants. And they were the first ones IFSI got in many years. So they're kind of a point of pride, and we hope we never actually see them on the road, but only for training.
There you go.
Going back to Mrs. Henson, you informed the Hensons that they were going to become honorary alumni before Lou's passing.
That's right, Gene, we did. He learned of the honor about 2 months before he passed, and Mary talked about that at the awards gala on Thursday night and said how pleased he was. Her exact words were, "We just sat and grinned at one another. We were so happy."
And I know President Eikenberry actually got to give the award presentation virtually, right? So
he did.
I think I got to see a little version of that, and it seemed very, very touching. I don't think you could have had a better presentation.
No, she really was overwhelmed, and she said that her intention is to reach out to President Eikenberry directly and thank him. So one of the funny stories that came up at the gala, though, was Coach Henson was kind of tight with the buck, apparently. And that according to Mary.
Okay.
She said that she has 3 grandchildren who are alumni of Ohio State, and she said it was because Coach Lou wasn't going to pay out-of-state tuition for the kids.
And there goes another legend.
You know, one of the symbols that everyone associates with homecoming is coming down the street. I hope you get a chance to hear them. But one of the things I've always loved about homecoming is not just the Marching Illini, but all the Marching Illini alumni who come back.
Yeah, it's fun. The alumni band is a great, great tradition. I asked Barry Hauser last night. I spoke at the band concert at Cranard. I asked if the alumni band members were behaving. He said no, and I was absolutely thrilled to learn that.
Yeah, Barry Hauser. If there's a more beloved person on campus, I do not know who it is.
I don't know who
these
it
days,
is.
right?
I really don't.
Yeah.
Besides you and Gene, but
I think Barry's got a bigger following.
And he also has a ladder.
literally.
So there you go. So that gives him an advantage. So here they come. There we go.
I wish we could put a number as to how many alums came back this year. I'm betting it's a lot, especially
I
after
bet,
not
yeah.
being able to do this last year.
Right. The Marching Illini are celebrating a significant anniversary this homecoming weekend, and that is actually the admittance of women into the band.
And there's Barry Hauser right in front of us there. Boy, he's dressed formally for the occasion, isn't he?
He ran in our homecoming 5K last Sunday.
Hopefully
Along
not
with
dressed
Josh.
like that.
Did he wear the suit?
Nope.
Because that. I might respect
I like
him and
Barry,
Chris's,
but
yeah.
I like him a lot, so I wouldn't want to see him go running in that suit.
There we go.
Although anyone who's seen him on the sideline at football
I was going to
games,
say, if anybody could do it, it's Barry.
he's moving.
All right.
So does Barry really have to take charge of all the alumnus when they go out the night before?
You know, I would disavow myself of that
So would I,
responsibility.
'cause I've been with a lot of them.
them.
I'm the reason why Barry may have to be an escort for them. I don't know.
It's a family parade. Family parade.
Parade might be a family, but not the broadcast. All right, Chris?
Fair enough. Here they go. So the band is older than homecoming, by the way, for those of you
That
keeping
is
track at
true.
home. So we've had
That
a
is
band since
true.
1868, really,
Yep.
since the military band. But they really hit their stride at first homecoming, right? 1910,
Yep.
1907, 1910 is when
Yeah,
they started
they
actually
did.
showing up on the field and doing shapes, right? The first eye on the field. So they have a lot of firsts of their own history here. Kind of defined the marching bands for colleges for a long, long time.
A long time.
All right, Jen. You
Yeah.
elbow me when I get to tee Chris up about, okay, so where did homecoming really start? Because
All
that
right.
argument is just ongoing.
Well, I know what my version of this is, and I'm sticking to it, but I went on record on Channel 3 last night as to my belief on the subject,
So the controversy is, right, did it really start here or did it not start
Right.
here, right? So that's the old story we hear. So Jen, what's your version of it?
my version is it started here and Wisconsin followed a couple of weeks later, and that they claim it, but it was really us.
But there is the undisputed distinction, though, that we've had the longest continual one, right?
That,
so we might,
that
even
is
when we're first,
not in dispute.
we're the one that's
That
not
is
been
not
interrupted.
dispute.
except for what? A pandemic, twice.
Yep, that was it.
1918 and again, yeah, right? So those are our 2 years off. I think we earn a little bit of a break on that one.
Gene, who have we got coming up here?
Your Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs.
Danita Brown-Young.
There she is.
She is fantastic. She is absolutely wonderful.
Oh, and look,
her
she has a
daughter,
sidekick with her. Yeah,
Yeah.
look at that.
Sarah Elizabeth is with Mom.
I thought Sarah Elizabeth gets to drive. That seems really unfortunate.
I
Yeah,
know.
It seems unfair. She seems upset by it as well. What do
need
we
to
got?
we need to give credit to
Oh,
the Student Build Energy System,
Yes.
which I thought was my ride here to the stadium. But
Chris, you want to make a joke, stature joke on that one?
no, I'll leave that one to go.
it's an ecologically designed machine built by the students here, and it actually competes in other competitions.
Absolutely. And
Very
homecoming
nice.
quarters started to arrive, right? Who we got there? We got, looks like several of them. So, Gene, you got the pronunciations. Let's
We
make
have
sure we
Joey
get it right.
Beert here, who's from Waterloo, Illinois. and Muskan Sahi, who's from San Ramon, California.
All right, so there's the homecoming court, which is selected based on philanthropy and sort of contributions and engagement, right? So it's not a beauty contest, right?
No, not at all. I mean, it's a very exhaustive selection process. I've been a part of it, and self-nominated, but we had a record number of nominations this year, well over 100. And then there's a pretty stringent initial vetting process followed by an interview process. And I'll say that the kids were at the awards gala on Thursday night, and they were really spectacular. They were fantastic representatives of our university.
All right, while we see the dance team, we also should acknowledge some of the other members of the homecoming court.
Yes.
There are more coming, but we also missed Sierra McCullough and Taylor Chen, and also Vongay Tezora and Allie Merritt as part of the court. And they'll all get introduced during halftime of the football game today.
They will, along with our alumni award winners.
Right,
Although I don't think that's at halftime. I think that's at the top of the third.
Penn Hillette Council float is going past now, and they are passing out football. So, yeah, again, you can tell the popular ones. Oh, there's candy as well. So why are they not throwing it to us?
Just another tradition that continued
Why are we so far off
the
brand?
pandemic. And that was Champaign County Fair Queen Erica Johnson, who's a student here at the campus.
Yes.
So sophomore, right? Yeah, right here. So very good. So and Jen, you have it. Looks like this year we got some community groups in there too. It's not just.
That makes me really happy. I've been out there pitching that local businesses and community orgs should be a part of the parade this year. I hope this is something that just continues to grow and grow. This is not, as I've been pretty vocal about as a townie, this is not just Illinois' homecoming. This is Champaign-Urbana's homecoming as well.
We saw the float from an engineering fraternity and sorority from Alpha Omega Epsilon and Sigma Phi Delta. Years ago, I guess when I was still here on campus, the homecoming decorations were fixed decorations at the houses.
Yep.
And then you made the transition over towards the floats that we see now.
Yeah, those are goalposts on that one. So the engineering folks didn't let us down completely. So that's good to see. It's like I like a little work with PVC, and it does wonders on these.
All right,
things.
Jen, some of your people are coming
Some
down
of
the
our
street
people
here.
are coming. The Champaign Park District Trolley has representatives from this year's Alumni Award winners. We have Sophia Noble in front, who won our first ever Diversity and Inclusion Award. We have Angela Sinikas and Joe Glass on the back of the truck. Joe actually, their accomplishments are extraordinary. Sophia has been doing some really groundbreaking research into internet search engines and how they play to marginalized populations.
Sophia was just named a MacArthur Genius Award winner this past week, so that was pretty phenomenal week to bring her back. Actually, nicely thought of there.
Yeah, I wish I could take credit for that. But she did say that ever since she got that grant, she's instructed her husband just to refer to her as genius.
Chris, you better tell Jen that she's got the microphone. She can take credit for that.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I would own it.
It's like having the magic wand. If you have the wand, you can take credit for it.
So it looks like we had a couple more homecoming court float run past while we were.
Faye Yang and Freddie Quevedo, they joined us. Also, Kartik Subramaniam and Aaliyah Rumbold Lemon.
All right, and it looks like maybe also we saw Hannah Spangler and Tyler Robertson. I think Roberson might have been in that last float there. All right, who we got now? Oh, look, somebody has built a house, and they put small children in it.
Was that the architecture school? Out of FAA?
Let's see. It looks like it's 217 mortgages. So it looks like.
Gauntlet thrown.
It is a hot housing market, clearly.
And this is Jolie Hastings, Miss Ford County Fair Queen, sophomore from Lodi here at the University of Illinois.
All right, and what we have? The Illinois Transfer Ambassadors, right? These are groups that help and encourage and make it easier for folks to transfer into the university. So it's not just getting big freshman class, but we have about 1,000 students or so every year that transfer in, start in other universities, and decide this is where they want to finish up. So it's a big chunk of our population here on campus. So. What we got?
Now on your screen, you see the members of the Black Greek Council.
And I don't know who let these scooters in.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Not to mention, who gave them the horns? I thought you were supposed to deactivate the horns.
And why aren't they wearing little hats?
Next year.
I was going to say,
I happen to know the owner of Fagan Scooters here, so I'll make that suggestion. There will be no living with them now.
It's only funny until someone runs off the runs off the driveway there.
More
It
members
could
of the
be
homecoming
worse. It could
court.
be Shriners, I guess.
Oh yeah, who we got?
Shruti Makala, who's from Hillsborough, Illinois. Diana Morales, Tom Ballard, Kate Raquel, Rhea Ravi, Courtney James Atkins, and Evan Coe.
There we go. The golf carts are pushing the scooters though.
There's
so
a
this
young
could-
man
this
out
could be
here trying to
uncomfortable.
collect candy with his hat, and right now
yeah.
I think he's going to need a bigger hat
Exactly. In fact, or more hats.
or more hats.
hats.
There's that
More
In
option.
fact, there
I
it is.
like
There's another
that.
shipment right there coming right from. Who do you see there? That's is that Sustainability Leadership Council, I think. Yeah, or is it the moms? That's Leadership Council.
That may
Sustainability
be the
Leadership.
takeaway from this parade, just in general, is more hats. Little hats, bigger hats.
What we need is be closer to the darn road because the candy is not
I
getting through
know.
that wall of kids.
Gene, you're in charge of our candy next year.
Oh wait, we got some construction projects going on.
You
Who
want
we
me in
got?
charge of the
Who do we
candy, you
have?
better make sure you get some then. More floats. I know that symbol. That's Triangle Fraternity.
There you
Oh,
go.
there we go.
Gene, stand up, salute.
Is that you?
That's me. That's me.
No
Is
favorites
this
here.
an
I will-
homage? Is this an homage to Gene Honda?
No, this is
parade
no,
entry?
not that. Because unfortunately, one year I did serve as the homecoming deck chairman, and
How'd that
I say
go?
unfortunately we came in second.
Oh,
So no, it didn't.
All right.
You know,
so
second's not bad.
close
Gene.
up of the Alumni solar car, folks. So this is a really, really active group on campus. I'll tell you, they're phenomenally they're very engaged. The solar car competition that they work over the years, and boy, they have a following. They have a following of families and members, and they're one of the most
Oh, that's
visible forces
wonderful.
on the campus.
That's wonderful.
By the way, the engine you heard revving had nothing to do with the solar car.
Oh.
Oh, here we go.
Here
So,
we
what
go.
we got? So we got the Miss Fisher Fair.
Bailey Bonham and Junior Miss Fisher Fair Queen Layla Edwards.
Is this in the motorsports, folks? Is this FSAE Motorsports, I think? Alumni Motorsports, yep. Designs, fabricates, develops, and competes with small formula-style vehicles. So I think that defines a small formula-style vehicle. And he's being overtaken by 16 kids with candy. So
So there's a lot of things being fueled here on
yeah,
this
so
course.
sometimes, and it's being passed like he's standing still. Oh wait, he was. So sorry, folks. All right, there we go. This is the last time I'll ever be invited to the parade, clearly. And the motorsports people are tracking me down. There's a gang of them coming right now
Yeah,
at me.
there's an unfortunate
And they're not bringing candy.
accident when you're trying to cross Wright Street. Well,
Yeah, exactly.
Gene and
We'll
I
know what
will
happened.
know Who to go look for.
Took me right out of the ankles.
The ambulance, by the way, is there representing the Salvation Army. They use it for canteen runs. They also use it to distribute emergency goods when things occur around Champaign County.
There we go.
Well, in all seriousness, that's wonderful.
Yeah, canteen run you will see out around downtown, around Green Street, even on some of the worst nights of the year, hands down.
You're looking at Caitlin Blankenship, who is Miss Georgetown Fair, a junior from Oakwood.
Apparently the word got out, so he is now leaving the candy kids well behind.
Chris, we got to make sure that if we're in the parade next year, that we're not in front of that car.
Exactly, yeah.
There you go.
Because I think he's
Grudges are
he's
held.
Kind of he's sort of prodding things along.
That's what
don't you
parades are
think?
about. They're about holding grudges over years and years. So what do we have? Coca-Cola, and there's a polar bear involved, right? I heard.
I heard that, but on a day like today, where I
Tractor trailer
believe
and
right now it's
polar
about 78 degrees,
Probably, yeah.
I'm not sure that polar bear is going to enjoy himself in the parade.
Maybe not.
Although I do have to admit, I enjoy seeing those commercials around Christmas time.
Oh, is this the famed alumni band I hear coming our way?
Oh, sounds
believe
like
it is.
Chris. Sounds like it.
And Barry probably did them a favor by letting them stage themselves way towards the back
Yeah.
of the parade.
Yep.
Oh, there it is. There's a polar bear. Ah,
Aw, there you go, Gene.
right in the back of the truck.
That means Christmas is around the corner, by the way.
That is true.
That is the first polar bear we've had on campus at least since 1910, as I recall. There we go, alumni band
There we
coming into
go.
view right now. I think you're seeing. There we go.
They sound great.
Yeah. Ooh, even in step.
You know, in all seriousness, it's pretty amazing. These guys come in from all over the country. They have an afternoon to practice.
That's it, right? That's their prep,
and then
right?
They get out the next day. So it's pretty impressive.
And anybody who's ever come back and played an instrument after not doing it for a year or so, you got about 2 minutes of time left before you lose your lips.
But I think we've also always known people who are part of the alumni band and how seriously they take it in preparation for this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And honestly, you know, this is a weekend that a lot of those folks look forward to.
So do we as fans.
That's
All right.
absolutely right.
There's the second orange and blue fire truck. So there we go, IFSI coming up towards the end of the parade right here, I believe, right? Aren't we getting there? Well, there comes the Zamboni, so you know what that means. Anytime you see the Zamboni in the parade, that's
time to drop the puck.
It's about time to, yeah, exactly.
I want to give
so much
Jan
for
a
the season.
chance, and this might be premature, but now that you've seen the parade in a morning setting, what does this do for your plans and preparations for Homecoming 2022?
Yeah, so we actually, in all seriousness, we'll start working on Homecoming 2022 on Monday. Everybody gets Sunday off, and then we start looking ahead towards next year. And I'm not even kidding about that. I have loved this morning. And on a glorious, beautiful Saturday game day morning, I just think it could be a wonderful new tradition.
And you also changed the parade. Not only is it the route, but there's a viewing stand actually with the chancellor and president. And everybody just actually about 3 blocks down the road from us. They're going to see them coming into the home stretch. So it's a little more like a Macy's event,
exactly.
Right?
We mentioned some of those people. They're part of the comeback guests, and one of the ones who's very prominent is former President Stanley Eikenberry.
Yes. Yeah. Well, Stan is not back this weekend, but we did discuss, just because I have so much respect for him, he was asking about homecoming. I told him about the parade. He thought it was a wonderful idea. So I will be completely transparent with you and say I got all of 2 complaints about moving it from Friday night to Saturday morning. So we'll see what people say. Afterwards, it's not my parade. It's the parade for the entire university community. We want people to let us know what they thought. But I just thought this was terrific.
Again, you call this weather every year too. Besides, right? So how many Friday nights in October do we get where the weather really goes south in a hurry?
Well,
so it's really nice to have it.
I think we all remember 2 years ago we had to cancel that.
the
Friday night
right,
parade because of snow.
Yeah. Well, it's a great way to start things. Hopefully a great way to start a new tradition, and hopefully if you weren't able to make it down to Champaign-Urbana for homecoming this year, it gets you thinking about coming back here next year. So thanks for joining us for this first virtual parade here. For Chris Harris, for Jen Delavu, I'm Gene Honda. Happy homecoming, everyone.
Happy homecoming, everybody.
Enjoy it.